This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers to hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the War Report After Dark. WrestleMania is over. The Paul Levesque era has begun.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
And we will. We have a lot to dive into, but Cody Rhodes has finished his story, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not. And I got to say, I mean, listen, we all knew it was coming. And the main event of that, there are a couple things maybe I would have tweaked a little, but for the most part, it told such an amazing story, and it was so well done. I can't be mad at it. And I thought it was a great finish to the story, and now new stories will begin. So we'll dive in. I want to dissect night 2 just like we did night 1. We also have to talk about the Paul Levesque era, the return of Stephanie McMahon. We have to talk a little bit about the biggest Raw of the year, which it was better than last year. I may have been expecting a little bit more, but we'll get into all that.
Yeah. that Raw, we got to talk about that Raw. That was yeah, like you said, it wasn't bad. It was just like, I don't know, man. The Raw after WrestleMania used to be like a thing.
Autumn is about to get booted off the show permanently with her comments about Zoe Stark, who spent her time in catering where she belonged. And that is all I will say about.
Listen, I couldn't be prouder, so I'm good.
I you know what? I think if Zoe Stark was out there instead of The Rock and they called her the Tribal Queef, that you would watch every episode.
I'm pretty confident that would not take place, actually. But
you wouldn't want to see the Tribal Queef Zoe Stark?
The Tribal Queef, well, maybe.
Every time she puts her finger up, you get a little.
You're going to get banned. You better watch yourself.
Oh, no. I have my dad's phone. I have my mom's phone. I have the computer.
Yes, but I control what comes up on the screen.
Okay, well, I can just log in here.
Yeah, if she steals my phone, she gets your cell phone number.
Block is a great thing. Apple makes it so easy. I mean, so back to important things like WrestleMania. I have to say, officially, night 1 was the appetizer and night 2 was the main course.
Yes, dude. There's no better argument for a one-night WrestleMania than this year. There was a way to get the 2 or 3 important matches of night 1 or onto the night 2 card to make it a one-night show. Hey, Tara. Hey, guys. And Vince, thanks for making it cry about 4 minutes ago. Not in a bad way. I said some nice stuff about, she told a story, long story short, one of her family members smoked marijuana once and said they saw the devil. And I joked, oh, well, I've never met the guy. And she's like, no, he's dead. And I'm like, oh, no, you misunderstand. I was talking about the devil when I smoked weed. And I was like, oh, your dad must have, I never met your dad because he did pass away, but he must have been a good guy because he raised a good daughter. Because Tara is a loyal fan here. She's been listening. Gosh, how long now? A couple years. So thank you, Tara. We're in a group chat. So thanks for tuning in. Oh yeah, baseball fans. Put that one up. I saw the Instagram photos. Damian Priest was on the field with Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge got to hold the World Heavyweight Championship, and Damian Priest got to hold the Yankees MVP of the game belt that they pass around. And now he's up in the doing commentary with Michael.
Is that guy really tall?
Aaron Judge is like almost 7 feet tall. He's a giant.
Okay. I was gonna say, because like Damian's a big dude, and he was dwarfed by him.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is unreasonably tall for a baseball player. Oh, great interview. Okay. I mean, listen, the guy's he's got a good story. He was homeless 10 years ago. He was working in Ring of Honor with the name Punishment Martinez, which is just like, it just shouts jobber. Like, good job for turning it around and getting signed and working your way up.
First world champion from Rockland County, baby.
And the first Puerto Rican champion in 50 years.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes, and Pedro Morales.
Yep.
Honestly, I dug him as Punishment Martinez too in Ring of Honor.
I thought he had a good look. I thought the name was holding him back. So Damian Priest is not. It's still Damian Priest is about as generic as you can get for an NXT name, but it much better than Punishment Martinez.
Oh, but the freaking Univision and Telemundo on Sunday night.
I can imagine.
Crazy with him. The interviews were like off the charts before he even went to the press conferences or anything.
And now he's going to be on Sábado Gigante.
No.
So
great.
How did so we should start with night 2. We should kind of take it in order.
Yeah. What night did you open with?
Well, it opened with Steph, no?
Yes.
Right.
World
Gosh.
Championship.
Oh, and then the World Championship match, yeah.
Right. Well,
But it opened with Steph.
But Steph kind of opened it up, which I thought it was great to see Steph. You definitely didn't see that coming, especially with everything that's been going on. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a great speech, especially her kind of doing the whole Triple H deal. But it does look like she's back. They even updated her theme music.
Mhm.
You said and she basically kind of went into, this is the beginning of the Paul Levesque area, and you had something you wanted to say.
My opinion on it is we didn't name the eras until after they happened back in the day. Like we used to, like the Attitude Era wasn't called the Attitude Era until like 2002, and then like the New Generation Era wasn't the New Generation Era in 1992. You know what I mean? We called that after the fact. I don't want to say it's presumptive, but it's just like, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, hey, for you casual fans, Vince McMahon isn't around anymore. And they were like making that clear. But like, come on, man. Like, we need to first, Cody trademarks the Renaissance era. So as soon as he did that, you knew they weren't going to use that on TV because then they'd have to pay Cody for the license. So then they came up with the Paul Levesque era, which is also like weird because it's the guy's real name. But then when he's on TV, he's Triple H. But then when he's at a press conference, he's Paul Levesque. Yeah, I'm going nowhere with this. I'm just annoyed that they call it the Paul Levesque era 90 seconds into the goddamn thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, David, please save me.
David Roscoe over at YouTube. Cody Rhodes finished the story, and Stephanie McMahon is back, which that's what we're saying.
The headlines of the night, man. Those are the WrestleMania Night 2 headlines, I think.
Well, no, there's
a couple more.
But I think her specifically announcing that this is the Paul Levesque era and kind of piggybacking off of what Heyman said even during his induction speech. I think a big part of that is really to let you know this ain't Vince McMahon anymore.
Right.
That this is full steam ahead, 1000% Triple H and Nick Khan and, and Bruce Pritchard and whatever. So, and it's showing. I mean, the build up with The Rock and this whole thing. I can't wait to watch the special they're going to put on YouTube. This whole idea of The Rock turning heel was completely his idea. And he pitched it to Triple H and said, let's switch this up. Let me go heel, because the crowd was clearly behind, Cody,
right?
For the most part. So I think it just, you could just see the difference. You could feel the difference. You can hear the difference.
they seem to be transitioning.
Pro wrestling. They're getting they're getting away from sports entertainment.
They're putting an and. It's like it used to be on the old Titan Sports video, sports and entertainment.
They're leaning more into pro wrestling, yes.
Which is great, but also I've seen Triple H with unfettered authority during both his SmackDown Reign of Terror and then the Authority booking run, and him and Stephanie together sometimes are just a feedback loop of bad ideas where they ultimately go over in the end. So I'm just hoping that whatever preclusions they had in past years for the best for business kind of stuff, I'm hoping that all goes by the wayside. Like I can't fully be like, oh, the WWE is back and all this. Like I need a little bit more of this era, I guess, to really see that, because
you cannot sit there and say that you haven't seen a massive amount of improvement.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying.
I mean, this is worlds different from what it was.
100%.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying. I've seen Triple H at his worst, and I just don't. I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe he's put that kind of stuff behind him.
But again, that was all, Vince was fully enforced back then too.
Yeah, but Paul always had his hand in it. That was that was the other thing. He was always kind of, maybe now that he has the book himself. I think, like night two, like night one, I think I could take or leave night one aside from the first and second match and maybe one other one in the middle. Oh, Gunther, Sammy. So like night one, whatever. Night two, they really, I don't want to say turned it around because there was nothing to turn around. It's night one. It doesn't. WrestleMania Saturday doesn't mean anything to me. WrestleMania night two was what I would expect from a show called WrestleMania. Less so night one. So, yeah, man, it's a new era as they are hammering home. I just my fear, and I was talking about this on the Discord that I'm in. We have a few wrestling fans and a few people that only watch a couple times a year, etc. But in general, there was a lot of WrestleMania discussion over the weekend during both nights, and then a little bit during Raw, but not as much. Sunday night, that whole thing, and the curtain call and getting everybody out there and just absolutely pulling the curtain up and letting everybody know that this is it's a play essentially, and everybody took a bow. And everybody coming out making a cameo. It felt like Avengers Endgame. And then you know what happened with Avengers Endgame? They made 12 more movies, and the next 12 movies sucked a big dick. And I just don't want that I don't want WWE to be like, this was our big moment, and now
I don't think
it's the Marvels, everybody. And
the fact that you got this big move coming to Netflix, which I think is going to be a game changer. There's a lot of things coming. I don't at all think it's going to go south at this point. I can only see good things coming ahead. So it opened with Steph, and then our first match was Rollins versus McIntyre, which I don't think that match could have been any better. On commentary was great. I think the match was great. And then afterwards, it went down exactly how I said it would.
Right.
McIntyre was going to be Rollins, and then Damian was going to cash in, and
Punk got involved. Yeah.
Punk getting involved and reaction, laughing, sitting there, clapping, the whole thing. It was great, and it was a great moment for Damian Priest, and I'm very excited to see where that's going to go. But that was a great way to open up WrestleMania.
Oh, for sure. My only one criticism, and this will just extend to everything that wasn't the two main events of the night and a couple ladder matches or whatever. For me, a lot of the matches, and this one started out, they wrestled a little bit, and then they immediately went outside and did a little walk and brawl. And I felt like if last night's main event was a big walk and brawl for 45 minutes, and then the main event was going to be outside of the ring a lot, they should have spent more time. Like, just for me, a lot of the matches could have spent more time inside the ring to differentiate, because then every match has something going on outside, near a table, near a barricade, into a ring post or whatever. I would have just liked a little less outside stuff in the match, like a more straight up one-on-one match in between the ropes. And then at the end, when Priest gets on the table and when Drew gets on the table and takes that big bump from Punk, then it kind of means more because they weren't out there crashing around on the tables already. And like the big bumps that happened later in the night in the main event will mean more because there wasn't as much going on. But minor nitpick, that was a very good WrestleMania opener, great WrestleMania opener, and the right guy won the first match, and the right guy won the second match. There's no problem there.
Yeah.
Cat got what was
Oh, Cat's in timeout.
Oh, okay. Was Autumn back there with a Zoe Stark for president sign?
Well, no, but apparently if you look at the wallpaper, it's a picture of me next to Zoe Stark. So until that is removed, she will be in backstage area until further notice.
Wow.
The power of the button. Zoe Stark. Don't Zoe Stark me. That's what we're calling it.
Oh, wow. Bring that cat on your right. Fantastic.
That's Justin, by the way.
Oh, that is. Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Tara.
Hey, Autumn made that, by the way. Thank you.
And that took you a record 8 minutes, by the way.
I just noticed it.
That was Mitch noticed it as soon as I put it up. It was trying so damn hard not to laugh. I had that up for 8 freaking minutes.
It says Zoe
amazing.
plus Steve.
Sorry,
equals
Steve.
lovers.
You'll appreciate it more if you're watching the video. But
we might have to have a part 2 to that other Zoe Stark video now. Shit.
so,
8.5 minutes later.
So again, great way to open up the show.
Steve, it's all in love, baby. You know it.
I know. What was the next match?
It was the Pride against the Final Testament trios or 6-man match, however you want to say it.
That match went exactly. That match went exactly how I thought it would. I do have to say, the icing on the cake for me was having Bully Ray as a special guest referee.
That was a great surprise.
I think that was the best part of the entire match. Really, it was him being out there, and then his little confrontation with Karrion Kross and him putting on the Bubba glasses and then doing the what's up with the guys and all that. It was a fun match. It went exactly the way I thought it would. Karrion's team needed the win, I think, more than Lashley and the Profits.
Right. And they could have still done all the Dudley. They could have made Bubba count the pinfall for the heels and then did all the Dudley stuff afterward, put him through a table, and even though the Final Testament won, everybody still would have gone home happy. But that's again a minor nitpick about this match. It wasn't
bad. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
This match was
and can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, Scarlett was amazingly gorgeous.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Kudos to everyone though, because when that happened with the table, when it broke, the regrouping between the Pride, the Final Testament, everyone, it just reset like magic, like it never happened. Like Montez Ford was like, "You want to try it again?" That was like
I was going to say
the best audible I have seen in God knows how long.
That was the best audible since Snoop Dogg from last year's Mania.
Right, since last year. But that match was good. The 6-man match was good in the same way that the 12-man tag team match was bad. Down to a botch at the end where R-Truth hands the guy the fucking ladder. And it just didn't. That whole match was just like, climb a ladder, wait for something to happen. Everybody crashes. All right, now we reset. And it was just like that match never felt like it got going. This match had momentum. It had Snoop Dogg on commentary. It had Bubba out there. It was
hilarious.
Snoop Dogg was hilarious. I mean,
Snoop is always gold. I mean, he was just great. And then of course he was one of the advertisements around the ring, which Snoop can do whatever the fuck he wants.
My favorite moment from Snoop was right at the beginning, and he was talking about how they were talking about gin and juice, and Snoop was like, "I had a little sip before I came out here," and Michael Cole trying to save it was like, "But that's all you had tonight, right, Snoop?" And he's like,
He probably smoked up the locker room with McAfee before they came out.
Cole said
that was probably there too.
Cole said
That's
Snoop
why the
dropped off.
attendance was 75,420.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny. By the way, Kevin, what's up? And Snoop is legendary. Yes, I agree.
Snoop on commentary was the right choice. I mean, because What's up, David?
What's up, David?
Yeah, I think he was the right choice, man. It was hilarious because like
it was hilarious.
He's unpredictable, but also he knows that he's on like essentially network television. So there's things he can and can't say. Like he didn't slip up and say any curse words or anything. You know what I mean? He's
very good about getting to that line without ever crossing that line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is,
and for a guy that's definitely killed people, that's pretty great. Like that's great that he has that ability. He's drawn that line in his old age, you know.
We cannot confirm nor deny any of the allegations coming out of Vince Berry's mouth.
Definitely.
Just
Murder was the case that they gave me.
Allegedly.
We weren't there.
No, we
Murder
weren't
was
there.
the
We weren't
case.
there.
Christ.
None of us were there. I was too young.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
shut up.
I was
I'm just
not.
saying, I couldn't be.
not.
I wasn't either.
I mean, I was live, but I don't think I could have been culpable. Is what I'm saying.
So again, it was what it was. It wasn't a terrible match by any stretch of the means. It was definitely a lot better than I expected it to be, and I'm glad. I think it would have been better if Carrion's team got over. It just,
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
I think, and those guys do need a win. Maybe they'll get one on SmackDown or something, but I don't know, dude.
I don't know. They don't like giving Karrion Kross any kind of push, unfortunately. And
Or
he's got-
AOP. So what are we doing?
right? And he's got a great team. You got Paul Ellering, you got Scarlett, which, I mean, shit, just have her come out during every match, and I'm happy.
Yeah, they had the girls get into it. B-Fab got into it with with Scarlett, man. It was
Scarlett.
good. It was good to have those two interact because
I don't know why they didn't just have them involved in the match to begin with.
That's
Like,
what I thought it was going to be.
I did too.
then you have to work
They
it
looked
into
like
the
they were in gear. Yeah.
dude. I
Is
don't
somebody
know.
watching?
Somebody must be watching on delay, or they're watching,
Or they
the
have
Sports
a
Center app.
Sports Center app.
Mitch, what's,
Sorry,
who
I
scored?
muted it.
Who
No.
scored?
Oh, it was Mitch. Who
Did
scored?
somebody score? Or did somebody get traded?
Seems like it wasn't me.
I didn't even open it.
But
Now it's him.
So,
that's what it is.
all right. So, what was next after that?
that was
LA Knight.
yeah, LA Knight, AJ Styles.
So here's what I will say. It was a great match, I thought, but it was a SmackDown match. Like to me,
not a
it
Mania
didn't
match.
have a Mania feel. I do. I did appreciate AJ's new music. I think if he's heel, they needed to change it up a little.
Yeah,
I
they need
like
to change it for real.
And Knight got the win, which was needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that LA Knight got over. I mean, I thought it was a good match. You put those two in, they're both good. So you're going to get a good match. I don't know. Maybe it needed to be like a hardcore match, or I don't know. To me, it just seemed like any kind of Raw or SmackDown match, not really like a Mania match. But again, It was a good match. So I mean, I'm not really complaining. I didn't get goosebumps, like I didn't get Mania feels from it, if that makes sense.
Right. And there was this is a nice chance for AJ's already had his moment. It was a nice chance for LA Knight to have his like WrestleMania debut and his WrestleMania moment. Glad LA Knight finally won. I assume
That's
it's
Tara, yeah.
Tara. Yeah. So of course everybody's happy that LA Knight won. It's just, man, where we were even 6 months ago with this guy, there should have been some, I don't know what title, because the US title and the IC title were both locked up. But man, there was room for LA Knight somewhere.
To be honest, as happy as I am for Damian Priest, and I see a massive face turn within Judgment Day, I still don't know how that works out with Dom, but they are also setting up him to possibly go elsewhere, which would
Right,
make sense
that's
and have
probably
them
what it
turn
is.
face. So I kind of like where it's going, but I almost would have given LA Knight the money in the bank, and then he would be your champion right now. Yes,
Yeah,
it
but maybe
wouldn't have
they-
been
maybe
Roman's
that's this
title,
year.
but and that's true.
Because he could be a good candidate for this year. Because like, I think this year's guy was the right guy. I think they took forever to pull the trigger on him, but it was the right guy in the end.
No, Damian, I think deserves it for sure. All right, we got David Roska, LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, that was what I thought the Mania match was going to be, but maybe it'll be like Saudi Arabia or SummerSlam, and then they can put the title because. Logan Paul's great. He doesn't. Whatever.
Well,
it's the
that's-
U.S. title. Who cares?
I don't think that's happening, Dave. Dave Roska says Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest for the heavyweight title. I don't think so, man.
Dude, it's
think,
happening. Clash at the Castle.
Well, no, maybe, but the next match is definitely going to be Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk.
Right. It's Priest. It's Damian Priest versus Jay.
But that might not happen till SummerSlam, depending on Punk's injury.
CM Punk seems like he's talking like he's ready to go.
Yeah,
I don't know that they would have had him rip that shit off and like use it and like get involved if he wasn't like maybe he wasn't ready to like go 30 minutes in a match, but he's got to be there or pretty damn close. I would think.
All right, Clash of the Castle is in Scotland in June 15th. We've got plenty of time if CM Punk is healthy to get the CM Punk match out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah. Where's the button? Hit the button.
Oh shit! I was unprepared. I'm sorry.
Just have Steve. We're gonna start telling Steve to press random buttons. There it is.
Do you think he'll ever add the dummy back in? Too?
Yeah. That one right. There you go.
And then CEO. Oh, that's the other one we got having there.
Wait, did he just say something bad about Trish?
Now I'm very fucking confused.
Whoa.
Yeah, wait.
This is a first.
David, you need to give us some hardcore detail behind these words that you're speaking.
The heel turn on Trish Stratus after all these years. What is the impetus of this, David? We need to know.
I'm pretty sure this is Tara. I wanted Paul to lose so bad. I despise
that's definitely.
him. And I think it was also Tara. No, I hate CM Punk.
That's also Tara. Thank you,
That's
Tara.
definitely also Tara. Yep.
Well, then
Those
you're
are-
going to
those
be
are
very
absolute-
then you're going to be very disappointed because everything we just said is happening. It's just a matter of when. It's not if.
Yeah,
So
but Logan Paul's got
buckle up and get ready.
But Logan Paul should drop the title to LA Knight.
Well,
That's
you know
the
what?
thing.
Listen, I gotta say,
Cleveland, though? If it happens at SummerSlam, does he lose in his hometown?
it's very
Oh,
possible. In wrestling,
shit.
a lot of the time you do lose in your hometown. But here's what I will say.
Well, then.
Anybody that sits here and shits on Logan Paul really has like some issues. I'm sorry.
I think just it's his reputation. His reputation precedes him as kind of an asshole in real life.
Yes, but at the same time, we are talking about professional wrestling, and it doesn't matter if the guy's a dick in real life or not. At the end of the day, he has proven that he wants to be a WWE wrestler.
Yeah,
he has given everything else up. He is 1,000% in with WWE. And not only that, he's been great in the ring since his first match. And he's only gotten better.
Yeah.
To have a match that he had with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, that match was
No, that was a good match.
that match
was
outside of the
fire.
main event was the match of the night.
And,
Outside of the main event, that was the match of the night by far. Everything about it, even from Kevin Owens driving down and then riding back up to give Randy a ride, like everything about it. It had action, it had comedy, it had the right conclusion. We said it. He was going to get the quick, cheap. He did, but it was well done. I just
nuts, baby.
Yep.
you can't shit on the guy. You
but
got to respect him.
So it was Kevin. It was Kevin, not Tara, that
Oh, it was
doesn't like
Kevin?
Logan. But I think Tara also doesn't like.
I don't
Logan
think
Paul,
she
so
does
that,
either.
There's
She's
dozens of us.
And then you know
No,
what?
Yes,
There
but
was
that's the point.
That's
He's
the point.
cheated every
Yeah.
match Logan has been in. Of course he has.
And I
Right.
But that's just being a heel and being a dick. But his in-ring work, you can't question.
I also have
But
to
you know
quickly
what?
apologize.
There was a whole reel that he posted that when he was up in the skybox watching the rest of
He's a fan.
WrestleMania.
Was
Yeah, he looked like
awesome.
he was
I
having fun.
posted that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the fan just like us, doing the same reactions we were doing at home. It's no secret how much I despise Logan Paul as the individual, but when it comes to the WWE, he gets my 1,000% respect, and it changed me even more watching him up in the skybox because it's like almost like the Pat McAfee in the
Right,
rest
right.
in the ring.
Like he's a fan.
The
Right.
dedication he really does have to this business, and that earned my respect.
Absolutely. And like I said, I just want to briefly apologize to the guy who whose name I didn't know. I Show Speed, who every time he's shown up with Logan Paul in that giant prime bottle, I thought it was KSI. So that's my bad. I Show Speed. I won't make that mistake again.
But it has been KSI
It
before
was-
that.
yeah.
Was it KSI once?
Yeah.
Okay, I
This is-
thought
he-
No,
he's
this
When
been
is
it
the
was
switching
in
first
people.
Saudi
time.
Arabia, it was KSI.
Okay.
This week was I Show Speed.
this time was I show speed. He's got to switch it. Like, can he just put? Can
I don't
he
know
just-
who either.
He's
of
got to
those dudes are.
alternate. Like, he's just got to put one white guy in the middle there, so I don't get confused. Please.
So moving on.
If you have kids, Eric, you would understand
I thought
how
it was-
they know who all these fucking people are.
I thought it was going to be his brother, and I thought that would have been really interesting if his brother.
And then
showed up.
I would have wanted Mike
He's got-
Tyson
he's
to
got
beat
his
the shit
fight
out of him.
down. Yeah.
That would have been
That's
great
coming.
too. Tyson comes in, throws the punch like he did to Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Yep.
So
In a D-Generation X shirt, baby.
the next match I think was Bailey Io, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So I will say this. I didn't get Bailey's entrance at all. It made no
Yep.
fucking sense. The
Mm.
carrying her down with like she's Egyptian all of a sudden. I don't know. It was very
It
weird.
wasn't Egyptian. It was Native American. It's from where she is in her hometown in California.
I thought the
That's-
outfit was from like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
That did not come
So,
across. I
by
have
where
no
she's
idea.
located by the bay in California, there was a whole thing.
Everybody
get it.
on Discord thought it was Egyptian. Also,
Yeah, I didn't get it.
well, so
I
here's
didn't
what
get
was
it.
what was reported, and I know we briefly covered this on night one, but now that the entrance actually happened and it was very underwhelming, the whole original idea was that Paramore was going to play "I Told You So" as her entrance live,
Oh, wow.
and they had to go on tour instead, so they couldn't do it. They tried to make it work where they could get there before the tour. The timing didn't work out, and it seems like this was kind of maybe a last minute thing. Like once
I
they
mean,
found out.
Well, but it didn't hit. It's a shame because this was a very big moment for Bailey.
And no
Um,
tube men. I thought tube men were definitely going to make it. Appearance.
I'm glad they didn't bring back the 2 men.
It doesn't have to be
honest with you.
forever. I just wanted them for WrestleMania.
I thought,
But-
I thought it was gonna be a one-night deal. You know,
I think it would have been cool maybe if they had Izzy like escort her
Yeah.
out or
Yeah.
something like that because she was in the area because she was at WrestleCon doing autographs and all that stuff because she is a wrestler now. She's doing a great job. Kevin over at Facebook, glad Bailey won. It was well deserved. It was well deserved. It wasn't the greatest match ever, which is weird because Io is great and Bailey's great. To me, that was also another match that just felt more like a glorified Raw or SmackDown match. It just didn't. But the conclusion.
Oh yeah, right finish.
You
Absolutely
know,
right finish.
was the right finish, and I'm very happy for Bailey. And I this is going to be a nice, solid run, I think, for her. So I can't complain. That was another one that it wasn't bad by any means. It didn't
Bailey
get me
just
off
doesn't
my
do it
seat,
for me.
but
Bailey just doesn't do it for me.
who?
She's not entertaining to watch.
Bailey?
Yeah, I don't find her entertaining.
Yeah, you know what though, but he hasn't known Bailey since NXT all the
But
way.
that-
Right.
That's the
You're
thing,
not
though, man.
invested.
She's just not where she's at from that. Like, if he goes back and watches that, he's gonna he's gonna understand.
Yeah.
It's like
the
I'm back in
Horseman
time a
Fatal
little bit.
Four-Way from Takeover.
The Iron Woman match between Sasha and Bailey.
Yeah. That's the one. But
NXT
Yeah.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
what's funny is
Thank you.
I had people, some of my friends considered that like the women's match there, Bailey and Io, to be like one of the top matches of the night or the second best match of the night behind the main event. And when I was talking about it, I didn't think it was that good. And then a couple people were like, "What do you mean? It was pretty good." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess maybe I need to like rewatch it." But it sounds like
I mean, it wasn't bad by any means.
It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't. I mean, if you go comparison wise, Becky and Rhea,
right. That's what I felt.
Oh,
too,
times
yeah.
better than what that match was. Yeah.
And also, I mean, it would have also been so the aura of the WrestleMania match, some of it is in the entrance. And when Bailey came out with not a grand entrance,
It was flat.
yeah.
It was very flat, and it's a shame. But the take home of it is Bailey won the match.
Mhm.
And then
Main
that's
event.
it, right? That brought us to the main event. Is that
Yeah.
so? That
Yeah.
brings
Yeah,
us
those
to
matches, yeah.
Roman had a great entrance.
Yeah.
Speaking of entrances, and Cody had a great entrance. The skull entrance mask was that paying homage to Triple H? I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
Felt like the
There
mask
was a lot of
a
there was a
little
lot of
too big.
masks this weekend.
There were a lot of mess this weekend in the entrances. But two very good entrances. That match over exceeded my expectations. The only, when I said earlier, there were some things I may have tweaked. I don't want to say I didn't like it because I loved everything about the match. I really did. But I think it took too long before anybody interfered.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
that
when
surprised me.
and then when the interference happened, there was no
Spitfire.
space in
Yeah.
between. It was just 6 minutes of, you had Solo, and then you had Jimmy, and then you had Jay, and then you had Cena, and then you had Rock, which was awesome, and then the Undertaker, and then
For some reason.
well, listen, I mean, he just maybe is not happy with how Rock has been handling himself since he returned. Undertaker, and listen, let's be honest, Undertaker doesn't need any fucking reason. He's the Undertaker.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tara says she's disappointed that the only Bloodline members that came out were the ones we knew. I wanted surprises. That's something I happen to very much agree with Tara, because there are rumors that Jacob Fatu has signed. That would have been a nice, holy shit moment. But with that being said, you don't want to necessarily have somebody debut when they're going to lose.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe they're going to save that for the rebranding of the Bloodline. I mean, obviously something's going to happen, and maybe they're going to, I mean,
that's why they didn't put Jade in the Elimination Chamber match.
Well, they didn't put Jade in the Elimination Chamber match because she can't wrestle.
Right. Yeah.
No,
That's
but she couldn't
Unless
afford
it's
to,
Chelsea Green.
they can't
For
have her
3 minutes.
lose though, until
You're right. They still are going to keep her. She's like a Goldberg. You got to keep her looking strong in quick singles matches. What do you think? The
Right.
Rock
So,
putting Cody Sane on Raw?
Kevin over at Facebook posed this question. Now, there are a lot of different theories going around at what this could be. The one theory that I heard that I liked the most, whether or not this is going to happen, but the best storylines are when there's a little reality that's involved in the storyline, right? I mean, those are some of the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What if there's two items that you can put in someone's hand that you know what it is without ever looking? A book of matches and a lighter.
Did
Cody's-
you say a condom, Justin?
I was going to say it. I was going to say a
that too.
dildo because everybody knows what a dildo feels like.
Yeah, well, that would have been a really small dildo. But here's what I'm Cody's bus was on fire. Everybody was okay, but this made news. There were actual newscasts about this. So my thinking is when The Rock does officially return and it's unveiled, that maybe it's going to come out that The Rock is the one that set the bus on fire or did something, and they can use
Awesome
real
footage.
news footage.
That's a
from,
good one. Yeah.
I thought that was one of the best ones. I've also heard that it could be that Cody had Rolexes made for all the people involved in the main event, that it could have been The Rock returning his, kind of like go fuck yourself. So there are some theories.
There was one. So the one that I heard. Bag of weed. Yeah, the other one that I heard was it was one of the things off of Roman's necklace.
Oh,
He gave it to him.
Oh, well, that could be.
Because what he said was it pained him to give it to him. So I think if he was giving him a RV or a new car or something, wouldn't really pain him to do it. He was giving him something that had some sort of sentimental value. So whether it was a watch,
And he said, "Don't ever break my heart again." That's a good point.
Kevin thinks it was Dusty's Hall of Fame ring.
I've heard
yeah.
that, but I don't know how Rock would have gotten it.
Yeah, I don't think that's it either.
Dusty's,
But Eric
Dusty
just
sold
said
a lot of memorabilia, dude. Dusty sold so like that the watch that Bruce Pritchard and Nick Khan bought. They found Cody's in order to afford acting lessons for Cody and his sister. Dusty sold a Rolex back in the 2000s, and Nick Khan and Bruce Pritchard say they found that exact watch and got it back to him. Now, if they were able to there's a way to find it because Rolexes are certified. There's a serial number, all that shit. So there's a way to make sure that it's the same watch. But if they were able to find it after all these years, that's a damn good find.
But there's so many pictures of Dusty with his Hall of Fame ring, though. So that, you know,
I definitely don't think it's the Hall of Fame ring.
Yeah, I don't
Dario,
think so.
What's up, Dario?
Dario the Hungry at YouTube. Yo Players, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Oh man.
I think the watch. It could be the watch. It could be the matches. Like there's definitely different things that it could be. It's going to be interesting, but this is planting the seed of something that is going to happen. I mean, The Rock did say, your story has finished, but the one with me just started, kind of thing. So that's obviously The Rock saying he will be back, and they're going to have their match. And maybe it'll be next year at Mania. I mean, it's possible they could drag it out. But I want to touch on, you started to say something, Eric, before about the segment on Raw being awkward. And I got to tell you, it was very awkward. First of all, it's the first time I've ever heard a crowd chanting, "This is awkward." But the whole idea of, can I hold your belt? Well, only if I can hold yours. I don't know. It was very weird. I didn't understand that at all. Like, The Rock's never been the world champion. Plus, he's got his People's Championship. The whole thing was very strange.
And it went on way too fucking long, in my opinion.
It also
I agree.
It also didn't establish a few, like, I'm sure it'll happen on SmackDown or something. Cody came out, and I'm sorry, Tara, I won't make fun of Cody because she said she asked me not to. She said, don't make fun of Cody for crying for the video montage at the beginning of the show. But I mean, come on, folks. How many times are we going to have this guy cry on national television?
I mean, but that
every time.
I know, but it's just But what I'm saying is that's fine. We got all this stuff out of the way. We got the Rock thing, but then usually, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Raw after WrestleMania, doesn't usually somebody come out and like challenge for the title, attack the champion, hit him with a car? Like, I don't know. Like I feel like Cody came out and took
they just wanted him to really just have his moment. I mean, listen.
What, you wanted Rikishi to say, "I did it for The Rock"?
Well, no, but I mean, if The Rock's going to be out there and promote a match that's not happening for 6 months, can we get somebody out here that's going to wrestle him at the next pay-per-view? Like, maybe he could. Maybe The Rock could introduce, Jacob Fatu. He's going to wrestle you on behalf of me.
How funny would it be if The Rock said, "The Rock did it for The Rock"?
That would be funny.
If he said, "I did it for The Rock," yeah, The Rock did it for The Rock would be fantastic. Oh,
and plus, are we at some point going to get a possible bloodline civil war? Not that I want it or don't necessarily. I'm just saying.
I think it's way too early to tell. I mean, we don't really know. We don't really know what's going on in Roman's head right now, other than he sent out one tweet, I think, that said, "I mourned day one, day two, I'm starting over," or I don't know what that means, or how long. I'm sure he's taking time off, I would imagine. But
also, and I know it's just the show The Young Rock, which got canceled, and it's just them saying it on talk shows and shit, but they have sold us, and they outright had The Rock come out in February.
Right.
We have been teased this Roman Rock match for WrestleMania for almost a decade now. Let's just get it done. Next WrestleMania, while The Rock can still go and Roman is still, I don't want to say healthy enough, but you know what I mean? Like a guy with his.
There's a good chance that it's happening next year.
He's got to happen next year.
I agree. David Rosca, my bad, I am wrong. I really want Trish Stratus to come back, win women's Money in the Bank, and cash in on the same night on the women's champion.
That's the
David Rosca we expected. Right.
God damn. I think what he was doing was one of those was reverse psychology things. Like if I say I want this thing to happen, the other thing will happen.
I'm with you. I think
positive energy, David. Positive energy. If you think Trish Stratus should come back for the Money in the Bank, I want you to put that out there in the universe.
The real surprise would be David turning on Nadia.
Oh yeah, if he was like Carrie Strug was better.
Then I would think there's drugs involved. Quite honestly,
no. If he ever said that he liked any other gymnast, we'd know that he was like kidnapped by ISIS or something. Yeah.
Come on, Steve. Say it one time. Comaneci.
No, I refuse.
I I really thought he was going to go for it.
I can give
thought he
a
was
fuck
gonna go
less.
for it.
Nadia Comaneci. Who the hell is Nadia
Comaneci.
Comaneci?
Hey, you know, Tony went to the dance with Nadia Comaneci.
Tony D'Angelo and Nadia Comaneci.
He
Exactly.
did the hand jive.
Yeah, there's your hand jive.
I do have a question about Raw.
Okay.
We got to see Dragunov.
Yeah.
We got to
Yes.
see what's her name?
Roxanne
Perez.
Perez.
Roxanne Perez. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cut. I mean, usually when they show up, they're moving up. I don't see
Right.
that happening with either of those two right now. So what was
Draft
the
is
point of
coming.
that?
Yeah, there is a draft coming up.
But there is a draft coming, which, as we know from years past, it means absolutely nothing.
I say, you could have gotten Baron Corbin last night.
You know what? He's much better in NXT. But,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I said they could have brought him and Braun Breaker as the tag team champions last night.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
wonder
know.
if there's.
I'm just surprised that they didn't have anyone show up that they were like is
Yeah.
coming to the main roster now. You know, that kind of thing. I mean, that's a lot of what we expect on the big Raw after Mania. So I was a
Right.
little surprised by that.
And the Roxanne Indy thing was weird too, because we've seen that if you watched NXT.
Right.
Mm.
Well, that's why they did it. They're familiar with each other.
I
Then-
did enjoy John Cena.
That was a nice little.
Yes.
cameo.
All right. Well, hold on.
That's
So,
because our truth, baby.
but that just right. That means we have
Right.
to talk about
Oh,
our
that
truth
Judgment
because
Day thing. Oh my god.
was when he just popped up and had. I mean, he really is. He is God's gift to pro wrestling. Like he is just. I am so glad he's champion. But then when he says, "I brought the title back to Judgment Day," and the Miz is like, "I don't want to be in Judgment Day," and then he says, it's going to be the guy you can't see that's teaming with us. And right away, everyone knew it was Cena. And you knew he was there because he was there the night
not
before.
little Jimmy.
Right, not little Jimmy. And then he did come out, and it was a great moment. And, you know, that was a fun spot. Like, that's the kind of shit you expect to see on the Monday after Mania.
If you think about it, it was also kind of like a full circle moment for the Miz too, to be teaming with Cena. You know,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the last time they were on camera together,
It's his
it was
idol.
it was Rock and Cena whooping their asses.
Yeah.
Survivor Series 2011 or whatever it was.
Yes, Trick Williams and Mello.
Oh, I think they're
agree.
getting moved up easy. At
But-
least one of them is getting
But
moved
that
up.
would have been the moment. Like, they
Yeah.
should have done it then. You
But
know
they
what
announced
I mean?
the
Like,
draft. Once they
I mean,
announced the draft,
just
I
had
knew
a
nobody
banger
was
a few
coming.
nights ago too.
They did.
Kevin, R-Truth is a national treasure. Protect him at all
Yes.
costs. I agree with you, sir.
Understatement of the year.
But yeah.
he really, did you guys see the video with him checking out the eclipse? But he kept talking about the eclipse he used to own. Like it's just he is everything, man. He's the best. He really is the best.
That's wonderful.
That makes me miss.
I
Emperor's
hope they
Groove.
give them a long tag team title reign. I don't want it to be dropped like in the next
They
2
won't.
weeks or something like that.
They won't.
You
They
already
won't.
know. They
I know,
they
but I wish they would. I really do.
I agree. But
They might
won't.
say wrestling is back, but some things don't change. They don't give a shit about that tag team division. But yeah, man, R-Truth is just, I mean, he's had such a long career and it's just amazing to see
And he
him.
still looks the goddamn same.
He does. He's still performing
Yeah,
at a
he
high
doesn't
level.
age.
No, he doesn't age.
at all.
They found a perfect spot for him because, like, you know, sometimes you're mad that somebody's in the mid card forever. Well, the other option is that this guy's a jobber forever. He's not world champion status, but he's exactly where he needs to be as somebody who's really entertaining. He doesn't even need to wrestle every time. Like every time he's on TV is not a wrestling performance. It's you know, comedy skits or whatever. So being able to do that and minimize the number of bumps you take over the course of your career because you can go do actual like segments, fantastic. Like it's just amazing to watch.
Kevin over
Oh,
at YouTube, who do you think is funnier, Truth or Sammy with the bloodline?
I mean,
That's a tough one. That's a very valid and
You're
great
not being
question.
very oozy.
I mean,
Oof.
it's so different, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's
Longevity wise, it's got to go to Truth.
Oh,
but
for-
what
yeah.
Sammy did for that year
was amazing.
was
Yeah.
the same level of pure gold as what Truth gives us right now.
The pure white guy trying to be cool with the Usos, and it was just everything about it. Like but you're right. Longevity wise, you got to go with Truth. You got to go with Truth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think though they both probably have a tie though about how many times someone broke character with their stuff over the last year.
Yeah, that's true.
This is your hubby. R-Truth gets to finish his story.
Yeah, I mean that was it. He got to tag team with his childhood hero, his 40-year-old childhood hero.
It's true. It was such a great moment, and all of them doing the "You Can't See Me" and the attitude adjustments. Like it was a fun moment. It was cool.
Yep,
it was cool. But now, what's going to happen with Heyman? What's going to happen with Roman? Like, are they both going to be off TV for a while?
It seems like Roman's going to be off for a while. It seems like
Seth
Jimmy
lost his match too.
Well, Heyman had
Jimmy Uso,
doesn't he?
Jimmy Uso lost.
Jimmy lost to Jay.
Yeah, we talked about that on Sunday.
Right, but he's saying, what do you do with a stable full of guys that just lost?
Oh, well, I mean, you have to rebuild.
Solo didn't lose.
Solo
right,
did not
and
lose.
I feel like that's what's going to be.
He didn't compete either.
We've seen this building for a year with this guy. He's frustrated that he has to come in and be the cleaner for all this shit. And I think that the peak frustration was Cody kicking out after the Samoan spike at WrestleMania. I feel like it's gonna be him against Jimmy.
Well, even when he started yelling at Roman, get up, finish it. And Roman yells at him, I know.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the silent Solo is going to be a lot more vocal come Friday Night SmackDown. And I think the first stop is Solo versus Jimmy.
Maybe he steps up in Roman's absence and he starts leading the bloodline.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. He's going to take
the air, right?
Yeah.
Kevin makes a very good point too, because Paul has mentioned many times over lately his best friend CM Punk. Paul may ride again with Punk.
It's very possible. I also think that there's a possibility that, like I said, Solo steps up as the next in line for the bloodline if Roman's not there on Friday, and either sets himself up to wrestle Jimmy for Jimmy's spot in the bloodline, or just outright introduces the other two Usos, Jacob and the other one and Zilla.
Yeah.
And then just kicks out. Be like Jimmy's like, he's like, okay, you're out of the bloodline. This is the new bloodline. Zilla, Jacob, and Solo.
So Tara's confused about the Roman situation being sick or not for TV. We talked about this the other day. He is going to be taking medication for the rest of his life. There was clickbait out there with one website, and it's going all over that he's very sick again, this and that. It's the medication he's on. He's going to have good days. He's going to have bad days. He's going to be on it for the rest of his life. It is what it is, but it's not
normal. It's completely normal when you've had leukemia. And it all started because Pat McAfee asked him the question when he was on the show, how's everything going? And his response was, well, I'm still on my chemo pills. Everyone ran with that he's sick again. It's not chemotherapy. It's pills. It's not intravenous chemotherapy. It's completely different.
But also, I think that motherfucker looked tired as fuck these last couple. Like, I don't want to say I'm not saying he's in remission or anything. I just think, he's just not feeling well right now.
Well, he's probably not feeling great.
He's been doing this for how many days?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, we hardly saw him most of the year. And then for the last 2 months, he's been a part of everything. And then WrestleMania week, it's the talk show runs. It's all the live TV. It's the autograph sessions and the Make-A-Wish and all that stuff. And I mean, it's nonstop for a whole week. So, and then he's wrestling both nights, and each night went 40, 45 minutes. So, I mean, it's a lot. And then I'm sure these pills don't make him feel great. So, I think.
Mean, look at it this way. Triple H didn't even get in the ring except for a couple of announcements or whatever. And he's looked like he's been exhausted and sick for the last week and a
Well,
half too.
he's also
A lot of
recovering from
promotion.
he's recovering from heart surgery.
That was over a year ago, though. But
Yeah, but I
saying.
mean,
It's a lot of
yeah.
WrestleMania takes a lot out of you.
Yeah. It's a lot. You know, it's people forget it's a whole week event now. It's not just 2 nights.
And not for nothing, but he say how exhausted, however he been or whatever. He looked great in the ring on Saturday night, even though I thought the match was absurd, and he looked amazing in the ring on Sunday. So,
there was nothing wrong with
the next 6 months. He earned it.
I like both of them. I like both nights. I thought both were good. Kevin over at Facebook. I'm waiting for Zilla and Jacob. They're becoming my new favorite indie tag team. They're beasts. They are, and it's happening.
Yeah.
It's going to happen sooner than later. So, but maybe this will be part of the rebranding and the rebuilding, and then you have Roman come back as a face to, take on his bloodline. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I feel like we're going to see a lot of nation ties somehow, like Nation of Domination and the change of authority.
Rocky mentioned the nation.
Yeah,
he did.
I'm going to say just one thing, too, because I'm not putting spoilers out there or anything. I know some of y'all watch NXT. I know some of you don't, but you might want to check out NXT this evening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A couple of appearances have happened in the last half an hour that have been rather interesting.
Little Jimmy took his dick out?
Well, if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you.
How would we even see it? He's invisible. Anyway.
Well, Ivar has shown up at NXT, and the Final Testament just showed up. Everybody.
That's not enough for him to get me excited. I don't know. I was expecting like you to tell me like Undertaker or John Cena just showed up. Maybe
I thought Cody or Damian was coming out, which would have been cool to have the champ on.
I just meant that they're trying to do something different after saw the Final Testament losing at WrestleMania, and now they're NXT.
Imagine though, they build you up to all this stuff on SmackDown, and then after
they put you back in NXT.
They're like, back to NXT with all of you.
I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't mind seeing Cross versus Dijak.
No, that'd be a good one.
Dijak's another one they should bring back up to the main roster as Dijak.
Right.
Yeah. But even the Ivar thing is where we are considering that he was in the final 2 of the Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
With Bronson Reed. So that's what I'm saying. It's a little interesting what they're trying to. I'm intrigued what they're trying to do here.
For Ivar, unfortunately, I think Ray Rowe's career is probably over. Just based on what's going on, or he's just not going to be back for a very, very long time.
I forget what happened with him.
I heard it wasn't career ending.
But it seems like the way they're rebranding Ivar is like as a singles. They're rebringing him as a singles guy with the girl.
Well, what else are they going to do?
But I feel like what I'm saying by bringing him to NXT, I feel like they're going to whatever they're doing for the future of Ivar for Warbeard, they're going to figure out, and I think
Well,
sending
just
forward is
remember
more of a
too.
threat.
Just because these people are showing up on NXT tonight does not mean they're going to NXT. I think now because that they're talking about the draft is going to happen again, I think you're going to see multiple people showing up on all different shows and kind of teasing the idea that this could happen. But it doesn't necessarily mean that these people. It doesn't mean that Ivar and Cross and all them are officially NXT right now. It's we don't know.
That's the other weird thing too that you said, Vince, because we haven't seen Valhalla since she put the antlers on Michael Cole. She's been gone for weeks now.
Oh,
so maybe they're rebranding Ivar.
It's possible.
And the Valhalla is here part isn't in his music anymore either.
Oh,
I didn't notice that. All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the top of the hour.
Wow.
Another one that flew.
Yeah.
That did fly by. Want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. We do this, for those of you who don't know, we do this every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So wherever you are in the world, just make sure you're tuned in 9 p.m. Eastern time, whether you're on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or wherever it is that you're consuming this. That's where we go live. So if I see you in the chat right now, I want to see you in the chat again, 9 p.m. Eastern time next week. The road to WrestleMania might be over, but the road to next year's WrestleMania has just begun. And we'll be talking all things wrestling. WWE dominated the conversation. And now as we move into the spring and summer months. AEW is going to be having their big pay-per-views coming up and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot to talk about and a lot of stuff we didn't even cover, like Julia potentially signing with WWE. So we'll talk more about that every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We broadcast live on Facebook. You can look for Tag Me a Date on Facebook. It's at Tag Me a Date. It's no space. It's all one word. At Tag Me a Date is on Facebook. It's the YouTube. So go to YouTube, type Tag Me a Date in the search, hit the notification bell and hit subscribe. And also Twitter is at Tag Me a Date. Same thing. The only one that's different is Twitch. It's twitch.tv/War Report. That's WARREPORT. You can add us on there as well. And it'll notify you when we go live. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube notifies you when we go live. And you can also set that setting if you go to the Tag Me a Date Facebook page or the War Report Facebook group. There's like 350 members of the War Report Facebook group. And if you subscribe, you get this live podcast dropped right into your Facebook feed. So go for that. Follow us on all the social medias. Most of them, as I said, we're at Tag Me a Date for Instagram, TikTok, etc., etc., etc. And if you prefer the audio version rather than the video version of the podcast, you can always go to your favorite podcast apps, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and type in the War Report, type in Tag Me a Date. You'll find it. You can hit subscribe. There are 2 War Report podcasts that both discuss pro wrestling, but for ease of use in both the graphic that we uploaded and the description for the podcast, we put Tag Me a Date in there. Steve, Vince, etc. You'll know it's us by the way we branded the podcast when we uploaded it. So just take a look for it on your favorite podcast app, and it comes up. We broadcast at 9, go off around 10 p.m. Eastern, and then within that hour, the podcast is up for you, and it will go to your tablet or your mobile device, and you can take it with you on the road or wherever it is that you need to take a podcast with you. And that'll do it for today. I just really want to thank everybody who came back. It looks like most of you came back for our post-WrestleMania discussion. Thank you for hanging in both last week for the preview show and this Sunday tuning in at a special time. We didn't know if anybody would tune in because it's not our regular day, and you guys much exceeded our expectations for WrestleMania Sunday. So now we know if we want to do a special show leading up to a pay-per-view like that, we can. So thank you for that. Dario from the Red Cow Discord, thank you for showing up, Dario. David, Trish Stratus is the next perfect 10, the living legend for a reason. Yeah, I mean, she is Larry Zbyszko. You're right, the living legend. No, and thanks, guys, and thank you, Tara, thank you, Kevin, thank you. Justin was in there stirring up the shit as he usually does. Autumn was in there and got banned for a little while. Dave Droska, of course. Yeah, thank you, everybody that tuned in. If I did not personally thank you, then I did not see your name in there, and that's my bad. I am dyslexic and also stoned, so if I missed your name, I apologize, and I'll get you next week. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Like, I just love having these viewers here. It's so nice to see the numbers going up, especially around WrestleMania season. That means everybody's tuning in and everybody's locked in. So maybe come back next week. We're gonna do this all. We're all going to do this again next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Another edition of the War Report on the War Tag Me a Date YouTube, on the War Report Twitch, on all the Tag Me a Date social medias. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.